Guys, I didn't get into real estate to get rich or to be wealthy. I wanted more time. I wanted financial freedom. I wanted my bills to be covered. I wanted time freedom. I wanted to choose my schedule. I wanted to do what I wanted to do on my terms. And then ultimately, I wanted geography freedom. Welcome to one of the absolute best podcasts on teaching people how to do their first real estate deal, how to invest in real estate, and how to find wholesale, deeply discounted properties. Guys, this is the cornerstone of real estate. This is how you break into real estate. Guys, today's topic that I'm going to be talking about is how to invest in real estate, how to start investing in real estate with no money and no credit. You hear this all the time, but it absolutely is possible, and it was possible for me. Guys, my name is Brent Bowers. I'm your host today on the Wholesaling Inc. podcast, one of the absolute best podcasts, teaching more people how to do real estate deals than any other podcast out there. Guys, if you haven't taken the opportunity to give us a 5-star review, 5-star rating and review, please do that. That allows us to change more people's lives. I had the opportunity to share as a host on this podcast with Brent Daniels and so many other great people. But today, guys, I want to talk about how I started investing in real estate with debt, basically. I was in debt in 2016. I was a brand new second lieutenant in the military. I went from enlisted to officer. I did 2 combat deployments in Afghanistan. I made it to Sergeant E5, and then the Army selected me for the active duty green to gold program. I had put in 2 years in a row, and I was actually denied both times, but I don't know, something happened. I call it the grace of God. The second time they ended up changing their mind and pulled me out of my second deployment, my combat deployment to Afghanistan, and sent me to college. So I went through college 2013 to 2015. I got married mid 2015. Me and my wife got pregnant pretty quickly, and we had a baby on the way. It's 2016, and I am preparing for my 3rd combat deployment, and I'm in some debt. I had quite a few rental properties at this point in time, and I really took out a lot of debt, and it was really hurting my credit. And I really couldn't quit my day job because my day job was supporting my rental properties. I didn't choose the best properties. I chose fixer-uppers. Unfortunately, didn't have the best tenants, so I ended up finding myself doing evictions. So I was in no position to retire on my real estate yet, but I wanted to be a real estate investor, and what I was doing with the rental properties just was not working out for me. I needed to make some quick money, and I wanted to do it through real estate, but again, I had not very good credit. I definitely didn't have any money. I didn't think anybody was going to loan me money, so I found something called land investing. I did this with basically no credit. Still to this day, have never went and bought a piece of land from a bank. I started creating cash out of thin air. Let me explain to you how I did it. I started sending postcards. We call it the Tribe postcard. Guys, I'll give you a copy of that Tribe postcard today. It's a handwritten postcard. It's simple. It's black and white. It's handwritten. It says, "Hey, my name's Brent. I'd like to buy your land or house." You can change the wording to this, whether you're a house or land investor or apartment investor. But I'd like to buy your land in El Paso County, Colorado. That's where I started because I was stationed at Fort Carson, Colorado. If you're interested in an all-cash fair price offer, call me or text me. God bless you. This Tribe postcard's been around since Tom Kroll created Wholesaling Inc. So I was using that to send this to landowners that were years behind on their taxes. I was actually sending it to the county-held tax lien list. This was very inefficient land. This was usually not accessible land or landlocked or not buildable land. If you're driving, you're going to want to stop and take this note down. Go to the Land Sharks, sharks is plural, thelandsharks.com/postcard to download this and start sending it out to landowners today or homeowners today. But I sent this out to the county held tax lien list. This was land that was so inefficient, either not buildable, not accessible, or landlocked. People were not paying the back taxes for this land. So tax lien investors weren't even investing in these tax liens. When the landowner got my letter, they were open to really letting this land go for very, very cheap. I'll never forget the first deal I ever did. A lot of you, if you've listened to the show, you might have heard me talk about this before on other videos. I bought this piece of land from a retired CPA for $285. And I was so scared to spend this money because I had a child in diapers. We had just bought a new house. We had just moved across the country. Again, things were pretty tight for me financially in 2016. So I asked the seller if I can go look at the land and see what I was getting myself into. And I had no clue what the land was worth. This was before I knew I can go to Redfin and see what similar size parcels were selling for. So me, my wife, and a lieutenant friend of mine invested in stocks. So he was completely against land. We went and looked at this land and had no clue what it was worth, but I saw a real estate office really close by, and I called this real estate office and I said, hey, you know, what could I sell this land for once I buy it? What could I sell it for if you were to list it for me on the MLS? Lo and behold, this agent said $10,000. Now, mind you, I didn't make $10,000 even in 2 months back then. It would take me like 2.5 months to make $10,000, and I was working crazy long hours as a brand new second lieutenant in the military. So I thanked that agent for her time, and I was like, oh my God, I will call you as soon as I own this land. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And she said, hey, Brent, what if I bought it from you? And I said, let's do it. So she ended up offering me $5,000 for the land, and she was willing to close the following week on a Wednesday. So I said, let's do it. Send me the purchase agreement. Before I made it home, she had a contract in my email saying she's going to buy this land for me for $5,000. So I called the seller and I said, hey, can I pay you on Tuesday? Because I really didn't have the $285 back then. I'm embarrassed to say this. I'm married. I own multiple properties. I'm a lieutenant in the United States Army. I don't have a discretionary $285. I feel like a lot of people were living just like me, paycheck to paycheck to paycheck. So this was my way of getting out in front of all this. I needed to pay off debt. I wanted to be a real estate investor, but I didn't have money and I didn't have credit I could use, which is a lot of people were in the same exact situation as me, but I was taking massive, imperfect action. You know, done was good enough. So I sent those letters out, and I actually made a mistake. I didn't realize this land was that bad. I paid the seller on Tuesday, and I brought that quit claim deed to the title insurance company, and I went back on Wednesday and picked up my $5,000 check. Needless to say, I was absolutely hooked. But if you hear me, I didn't use any credit. I didn't need credit to buy this cheap parcel of land. And you might say, Brent, how do I find this kind of land? I can't find land that cheap. And I'm here to say, yes, you absolutely can. I've gotten free land before. I've gotten free land more than 10 times at this point, and I've sold that land and made profits on it. Some of that land is still paying me today monthly payments. So I want to say that you don't need credit. You don't need money. You just need to be willing to send out a few letters or make a few cold calls or send a few texts. If you want the result bad enough, you will take the steps to do it. So how do you get those steps? You can listen to these podcasts. This is a great podcast to listen to get the steps to take. You can also go to wholesalinginc.com and fill out an application. If you want to work houses and wholesale houses, go to wholesalinginc.com. If you want to just talk land, you want to schedule a call with me, go to wholesalinginc.com/land and apply for the Land Sharks program. I personally will be calling you. I'm going to ask you to fill out that questionnaire, and I will be calling you to see exactly what you're trying to do in this real estate business. And if you don't have money, you don't have credit, then that's okay. There's ways to get started. We can point you in the right direction. Maybe you have some money, but you don't have much time. That's okay. I can point you in the right direction. I've absolutely been there where you're listening to this or maybe thinking, I don't know, Brent, it only works for you or it only works for Brent Daniels. Let me just say that I am not the smartest person in the world. I just take action. I take imperfect, massive action. It's not always the best action. Sometimes I make mistakes. You know what? I make mistakes all the time. I'll just be real with you here for a minute, but you absolutely can get started in real estate. I've been practicing real estate since 2004. I would not have called myself successful in real estate till about 2016 when I finally did this land deal that netted me so much profit so quickly, and it just kept snowballing and snowballing and snowballing. You start with a little tiny snowball, and before you know it, you build a big snowman. This thing rolls and rolls, and what this $285 land deal has turned into is turned into many, many land notes paying me every single month when we sell this land on seller financing. This is how I get the passive income. What do I do with this passive income? I'm not living off of this stuff. I'm not living off this passive income. I'm taking this passive income and I'm buying more land with it. I'm buying more investments with it. I'm buying light industrial buildings with it so I can get triple net lease tenants, blue collar tenants that if they don't pay for their rent, they lose their business. This is how we get the snowball effect. And this is also giving me depreciation with something we call cost segregation. I use a very smart CPA, a certified public accountant, to help me, but this eliminates the amount of taxes I pay every single year. So it starts with the land money. It starts with the passive income from the land, and then it turns into this gigantic snowball that just keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And my tenants pay down my mortgages that I have on these properties, and that increases my equity every single month when they pay the rent, and then I pay the mortgages with it. And then there's another phenomenon that happens. It's called appreciation. And I'm not banking on appreciation. I'm looking at this as a long-term play. 15 years from now, 30 years from now, most of these properties will absolutely be paid for with other people's money. But you're like, Brent, you told me I don't need any credit to start investing in real estate. Everything I've mentioned to you, I have not used a lick of my own credit with. This light industrial space that I bought, the first one I ever bought, I used the seller to do a seller carryback for me. He gave me a 15-year mortgage at 8% interest, and I rented out that property within a few months, and that is what's paying the mortgage every single month. So this snowballs and snowballs and snowballs. Before you know it, a lot of this real estate's paid for. We're now living off the passive income. It's paid for in 15 to 30 years. My children are going to inherit so much real estate. They're not going to be able to spend this money. So guys, I hope you can see how it's so doable to start investing in real estate with no money and no credit. It might sound like I'm just crazy here by saying this, but it's absolutely doable if you want it bad enough. You're going to have to get up early. You're going to have to stay up late. You're going to have to miss a few parties. There's going to be some hard times. You're going to have to, like in Think and Grow Rich, it says you're going to have to put it in an investment. Today, I needed to get up early this morning because I needed to get a few things off my plate because it's my daughter's birthday. Well, guess what? I got up early and I still didn't get it all done. There's always going to be more to do, guys. So we're always climbing. We're always taking that next step. And I want you to take that step today and go to wholesalinginc.com/land and schedule a call with me today. Fill out that application, schedule a call with me today. Tell me what your real estate investing goals are. And if I can help you, I'd be honored to. If I can't, I'll point you in the right direction or send you some free resources. Guys, go get that postcard today, thelandsharks.com/postcard. I hope you got something from this very short, powerful podcast today. Trust me, this is not smoke and mirrors. Guys, this is absolutely doable. You can absolutely do this. When I started in 2016 with my land business, I say I've been practicing real estate since 2004. I started going to seminars like crazy, and I finally bought that first investment property in 2007. I got my real estate license in 2007. By the way, it took me 3 times to pass that stinking course. If I can do it, anybody can do it. Guys, I didn't get into real estate to get rich or to be wealthy. I wanted more time. I wanted financial freedom. I wanted my bills to be covered. I wanted time freedom. I wanted to choose my schedule. I wanted to do what I wanted to do on my terms. And then ultimately, I wanted geography freedom. You absolutely can do this. You just need to set the time aside every single day. Time block, time block, time block. You're going to have to get up a little earlier. You're going to have to stay up a little later. You're going to have to read the books. But most importantly, you're going to have to take action. You're going to have to stay in action mode. One important task a day is what I recommend when getting started. Guys, God bless. Until next time on Rhino Nation, Brent Bowers signing out.